All right, so buckle up because today's deep dive is taking us straight into sci-fi horror territory with a real classic. We're talking about The Thing from Another World, but not the one you might be thinking of.
Right, right. Not the Kurt Russell version. That's a whole other beast. We're going even further back to the 1951 original.
And let me tell you, this film, even after all these years, it still packs a punch. It's got this incredible atmosphere, this sense of dread that just gets under your skin. The crazy part is it almost didn't get made. We've got stacks of old articles, film reviews, you name it, all ready to dissect. But first things first, we got to talk about the novella that started it all. John W. Campbell's Who Goes There?
Published way back in 1938 under the pseudonym Don A. Stewart. Can you imagine? Such a different time, right? The world on the brink of war, and here comes this story, this chilling tale set in the most isolated place on Earth, Antarctica.
Talk about setting the stage for some serious paranoia.
Exactly. Now, the film, it takes some liberties with the source material. I mean, the basic premise is there. A group of scientists stumble upon something. Well, something not of this world. But Campbell's alien, a completely different beast, think shape-shifting, mimicking its victims on a cellular level, pure nightmare fuel.
Whoa, hold on. Shape-shifting. Now, that's straight out of John Carpenter's playbook. You're telling me they swapped that out for the 1951 version?
Swapped it out and went in a whole other direction. And that one change, my friend. It's key to understanding the film's impact.
My mind's blown. So we've got this terrifying novella, but we're talking 1938. Why did Who Goes There resonate so much with Hollywood in the 1950s?
Timing, my friend, timing. The world had changed. World War II, the atomic age, the Cold War. Suddenly, science wasn't just about progress. It was about potential for destruction on a scale never seen before. Campbell's story. It tapped into that primal fear of the unknown, of something lurking just beyond our understanding, something that could be anything, anyone.
And don't forget, The Thing hits theaters right in the thick of the Red Scare. Paranoia and suspicion were everywhere. Talk about a recipe for a chilling cinematic experience.
Absolutely. This wasn't just a monster movie. It was a reflection of the times, the chilling exploration of fear itself.
Makes you think twice about who to trust, right? So we've got this eerie story, a world on edge, and enter legendary director Howard Hawks. Or is it?
Howard Hawks. Now, that's a name that echoes through Hollywood history. But the question of who really directed The Thing from Another World, it's a debate that's raged on for decades.
Seriously, it's like the ultimate Hollywood whodunit. You've got Christian Nyby, the credited director, but then whispers and rumors swirling around Hawks, the film's producer, saying he was secretly calling the shots. Who to believe?
And this isn't just some baseless rumor mill, my friend. We're talking eyewitness accounts from the people on set. Actors, crew members, even Nyby himself at times, hinted that Hawks was more than just a hands-off producer.
Okay, spill the tea. What kind of behind-the-scenes dirt are we talking about?
Well, there's that famous quote from Kenneth Tobey, the captain himself. He flat out said, and I quote, "Hawks directed it, all except one scene." I mean, how can you argue with that?
You really can't. But even with all the speculation, you got to admit, Hawks' fingerprints are all over this film. The sharp, witty dialogue, the way those characters just pop off the screen, that's classic Hawks.
Exactly. That's his signature style bleeding through. Hawks loved strong characters, men and women who could hold their own, even in the face of danger. And that snappy dialogue, that ability to find humor in the darkest of places, pure Hawks.
That's true. You've got these characters facing down an alien threat, and they're still cracking wise, still flirting with each other. It's that human element, that spark, that elevates The Thing above your typical monster flick.
Speaking of that human element, let's talk about the romantic subplot between Hendry and Nicholson. It's not just thrown in there for the sake of having a love story. It adds another layer to the whole thing, you know?
Totally. There's scenes together, pure magic. But hold on, we can't forget about the music. Because what's a good sci-fi thriller without a score that chills you to the bone?
Yes. Dmitri Tiomkin, the maestro himself. Now, you might know him from his iconic Western scores. Think High Noon, Gunfight at the OK Corral, epic stuff.
So what's a Western composer doing scoring a sci-fi horror film?
Trust me, it works. Tiomkin brought that same sense of grandeur, that emotional depth to The Thing. And get this, he uses this instrument called a theremin, you know, that eerie, otherworldly sound.
Oh yeah, sends shivers down your spine.
That's the theremin. Back then, it was still pretty novel, very much associated with the strange and unknown. It was the perfect choice to create that sense of unease, that feeling that humanity was venturing into uncharted territory.
And speaking of uncharted territory, let's talk about the alien itself. Or should I say what you don't see? Because the original release of The Thing from Another World made a very deliberate choice to keep their monster shrouded in shadow and suggestion.
Wait, seriously. They went through all the trouble of designing and building this alien creature and then decided to keep it hidden in the shadows. I don't get it. Why? I think it's kind of brilliant. I mean, think about it. Today, we're spoiled with CGI, special effects out the wazoo. But back then, audiences had to use their imaginations a bit more. And that, my friend, can be way more terrifying. It's so true. There's something about the unknown, the unseen, that just gets under your skin. The Thing from Another World, they understood that. By keeping the alien mostly hidden, they tapped into a much more primal fear. Our imaginations run wild, conjuring up something far more terrifying than any rubber suit ever could.
Right. Like you get those quick glimpses, a claw here, a glowing eye there, and your mind just fills in the rest, creating something truly unsettling.
Absolutely. It's the power of suggestion. And honestly, I think they were ahead of their time. Today, so many horror films rely on jump scares and gore, but The Thing, it understood that true horror, it lingers in the shadows. It's the fear of what you don't see that stays with you long after the credits roll.
Totally agree. It's like those old radio dramas, Your mind paints the picture, and
Yeah.
that can be way scarier than anything you see on screen.
And I think that's a big reason why The Thing from Another World still resonates today. It gave us this template for a different kind of horror, one that's more psychological, more about what's going on in the characters' minds. John Carpenter's remake, it's a fantastic film, but it's a different beast entirely. He shows you the monster in all its gory glory.
Two different approaches,
Mm.
but both effective in their own way.
Exactly. It's all about what you want the audience to feel. The Thing from Another World, it wanted you to feel uneasy, to feel that constant sense of dread, and it nailed it.
So I guess the big question is, do you go for the slow burn, the creeping terror of the unseen, or the in-your-face horror of a creature feature?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a tough choice. Both have their merits. But I think what makes the 1951 The Thing so special, so influential, is that it dared to be different. It embraced the power of suggestion, reminding us that sometimes the most terrifying things are the ones we never fully see, the ones that live in the shadows of our own imaginations.
Chills, man. That about wraps it up for our deep dive into The Thing from Another World. We've got this fascinating directorial mystery, a chilling Cold War backdrop, and a monster that's scarier for what you don't see. It just goes to show that even after all these years, this film still has the power to send shivers down your spine.
Absolutely. It's a timeless classic, a reminder that true horror transcends special effects and gore. It's about tapping into something primal, something that lives within us all. And sometimes, the things we don't see are far more terrifying than anything we could ever imagine.
Well said. Until next time, deep divers, keep those imaginations running wild. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.